How would, let's say, Parkland shooting in Florida, how would these names relate just real quick? They're mind control murders that was done down there. The people were killed by, the students were killed by Mr. Cruz, and he'll, if he doesn't, if someone doesn't represent him and know what's been done to him and advise him, he doesn't even know. He pled guilty to murders he didn't commit. He was programmed under mind control. They took away his thinking, totally filled him with programming, and that's what allowed him to be so precise, and the precision used in all these other mass killings and murders. But anyway, right there, this young man's going through hell. He doesn't even know he was programmed. That's my point. That his willpower and everything, the ability to even be his own person, was removed from him. And that's what the United States touts as their land of the free and home of the brave, and they freedom of speech, freedom of this, freedom of that. Well, they've took everything, and this has been going on way back. It's just that some of these were done in patterns so they can be proven. I'm going to ask you to think about this. The name Parkland, where does it fit in? Um, okay, that was Parkland, Florida. But also, you've got Scott Peterson was he worked for the Sheriff's Department, I believe I'm right, and he was assigned to the schooler. He's the one that got fired. Supposedly he waited outside, and people think he should have gone in, and when the shooting started, etc. Then the sheriff's name is Scott Israel. Okay, now then, let's see. I'm not going to try to go through any more. How would Scott Peterson, who else do you know's named Scott Peterson? Somebody would come up real quick and say, oh, well, Scott Peterson, that's probably a million names. Scott Peterson is a young man that's on death row for killing his wife, Lacey, and unborn son, Connor. He was represented by Mark Kelly, Mark Garrigus. Excuse me, Mr. Garrigus, who's a very nice man. I totally believe and think he is one of the best. I'll just say that. So now then they're saying that this was a mind control murder, I've said way back. Gabby Gifford was a congresswoman. She's married to Mark Kelly. Supposedly, up until he came back from space, Mark and Scott Kelly were identical twins. So now then, when they came back, they did tests on Scott, and his DNA had been altered to a degree. They're no longer identical twins. I'm going to leave it at that. I've put up all I can, and I'm going to put up this man because this could be your kid, it could be you. Like in Parkland or this one. And nobody told him he'd been programmed either. He was put in a mental hospital, and they knew it. Where are all your doctors on this? Can you understand if the truth is finally forced on people, they have to accept it? And mental illness is being used as a scapegoat for mind control. Has nothing to do with mind control. To put this man in the agony and hell and is torturing him. You have to address the real problem, and he's not mentally ill. It's he's programmed. You have to stop the programming and mind control. Any fool would know that. So you better ask yourself before it happens to you or your kid and they're on death row. By the way, if they were to tell it, and God help that they do, you may not can go back, because the ones I'm talking about, you can prove most of them. You get enough of it that you know. Some of them you can prove. Can you think of how many people may have died from way back, because this goes back, of course, it's masked now because of technology. But King Ferdinand and Sophie, his wife, were shot by a programmed shooter. You got Tsar Nicholas that was taken out, the family. You've got Anastasia, who was up here next door to me. She was in Charlottesville. That was really her, and I've put up all this about what happened to her. So, I guess that's all I can say. Guess it went off. There you go.